Mm, Hi everyone. Good morning. Okay, if you're here, please just let me know in the chat, um, so that we can just kick off shortly. Okay. Hi Tope. Hi Patrick. Hi Tijani. Okay, great. So, if you can hear me, just let me. If you can't hear me well, just let me know. I'll just try and test a couple of things before we start. Okay. Hi Grace. Hi Aziz. Okay, great, nice. So we'll just be kicking off shortly. So I'll just give 1 more minute for us to have more people join in, and then we'll just start because I have like a present for people that joined early. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, nice. Thanks, Viv. Okay, thanks, Ifoma. All right. So we'll just be kicking off shortly. Welcome everyone again to this session. Um, So we're going to just be discussing LinkedIn strategies to boost your job search, right? And one of the reasons why this session came to fruition or why it came to be is I've used LinkedIn for, let's say, I've used it actively for like 3, 4 years now. And most of the times when I get people come to meet me, oh, I'm looking for jobs, and I tell them, oh, try LinkedIn, the people don't just know where to start from. So that's one of the essence of why this session is. I'm just going to be sharing strategies that I've used that have helped me today, with everyone on this call. And yeah, feel free to let us know where you're joining in from, whether Nigeria, Canada, UK, US, Australia, India, wherever you're joining from. Please let us know in the chat as well. Um, So I think we kind of have a good number of people on the call. So for those that took time to read what the session was going to be about, I promise that we're going to have live profile reviews at the end of this session. So it's a session where you share your LinkedIn profile and we'll kind of scrutinize it on the call. So if you're going to be up for that, I will be sharing a link shortly that you can just submit your LinkedIn URL and your YouTube profile name. So that way, we can just go over the link. We can just go over it in the chat. Okay, nice. I see people joining from Canada, Calgary, Nigeria, Germany. Nice. Okay, so I'm just going to share a link shortly. But before I do, because I'm just going to give about 1 minute for people to use that form. Before I share the link, just get your LinkedIn profile URL. So if you go to your profile, there's a place for you to share your profile with anybody. So it's to generate a link for you. So just have that link handy. And in the link I'll show next, you just submit it there. So it will just be a matter of like fastest fingers first. And if we have a lot of time, we'll probably do 2 or 3 people's profile on the call. But if by any means you don't want your profile to be displayed on this call because it's a recorded YouTube video, um, you don't have to submit it, right? Yeah. But if you're going to be on the call towards the end and you want us to review your profile, please let us just share your profile URL in the in the link I will be sharing next. So I'm going to share it now, and let's see. I'll probably give about 1 minute 30 seconds for people to submit it. So this is the URL. I'm also going to paste it on the chat so that way you can also click on it as well. I see most people are joining from Canada, people from Nigeria. Thanks everyone for joining. So this is the link to submit your URL if you want us to have it reviewed on the call. Live reviews 7. I think we're good. So you can either scan it or I just pinned it so that it's not missed. So I'll have this link open for let's say about 1 minute ish. and then we will, yeah. So I hope this countdown is working. Okay, it's working. Okay, my countdown stop working. I'll just be timing it myself, but nope, not sharing again. So as you share, we'll just have the LinkedIn URL, so that way, um, this one, we'll have it on the call. So for anyone just joining, if you want to have your profile reviewed on the call, just fill in your LinkedIn URL here, and that's pretty much all we need. Okay. Okay, so far we have like 9 responses, so I think we should be good. So we'll try as much as possible to go through as many as possible on this call. Linda said it's not opening on her end. Hmm. Okay, let me just put another link then. Let me see, just a sec. Uh, yeah. Hmm. I'm just going to copy another link. So we'll just try to hurry this up. Okay, so this is another link that we can use in the meantime. So while we're doing this, feel free to post about the session. I'd just like to get your feedback on what we learned, what we will learn on this webinar. So feel free to tag me either on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you know me. So that way I can just see like feedback or what people learned or how we can make this better if we're doing it in future. Okay, so I'm just going to skip this part now, and I'm going to close the form in about 30 seconds. And we have so many windows open. Okay. Okay, so we have 19 responses now, which is fine. So someone submitted 2 times. Okay, so we should be good. Let's stop collecting responses. Okay, 20 responses. Okay, so I've closed the form now. So thanks to everyone that submitted. I hope we can go through as many. If not, maybe I would find a way to help people review afterwards. So we're good here with this. So we'll just start the session now. So just a brief introduction for people that might not know me and are joining this call. My name is Jessica Ayodele. I'm a senior data analyst with a company called Sobeys in Canada. It's one of the second largest grocers in Canada. Um, I think for me, when I started becoming very public was when I decided to pivot careers from engineering to data analytics. And that's kind of where my LinkedIn journey started from. Um, I was trying to find an outlet to just share my work, right? And that's kind of how I started. So for people that know me, they know I'm very vocal about things that I learn and just sharing to help people generally. And that's how we're doing this. It was kind of like a giveaway for my Instagram followers when we got to 20K, I think. So I'm happy it's finally happening. So welcome again for everyone that's just joining. So this is going to be our agenda for today. We'll start with a bit of introduction. I'll talk a bit about my LinkedIn journey just to wet the floor for what we'll be expecting today. Next, I will also share the strategies that we talked about. The title of this webinar is Strategies to Boost Your Job Search. So I'll be sharing those 4 strategies that I think will really help you. And then there will be practical sessions where I will I would open LinkedIn to share my profile and then just share some hacks that have helped me over the years. And then we'll have the live profile reviews that we just looked at just now, that we just submitted LinkedIn URLs for. So yeah, so just a quick question before we continue, right? I just want to know, why do we use LinkedIn? Why are you on that site at all? Why do you have a LinkedIn profile? Is it just to post when you've gotten a new job, or to tell people congratulations, or to get referrals? Why exactly do you use LinkedIn as a tool? So we'll be taking answers to this in the live chat. There are no wrong answers. I just want to get a sense of why you use it currently. Yes, Rukayat, the link is not accepting responses. Sorry. Okay. So for Patrick, he's saying he wants to make himself more more visible to recruiters. Um, hmm. People are crying about about this form link. I'm sorry. Like, I just want to make it for fastest fingers because we won't be able to review everybody, to be honest. So tech is saying to be visible to potential employers for job opportunities, for job search, for jobs. And like I said, there are no wrong answers. Personally, at first it was basically for job search for me, but I think over the years it has grown to be more than that. I've made friends from LinkedIn. I've made contacts I probably wouldn't have met in real life. So yeah, it's very, very okay to use it for jobs. And I think that's the primary goal for which LinkedIn creators made the app, right? So today, like we said, we're just going to be going through strategies to help you improve the job search, right? It's not just enough to be on LinkedIn or to only post when something good is happening in your life, right? We need to use it and maximize that tool. And it's not just me preaching LinkedIn. It has really helped me as an individual, both in my career, personal wise. Um, and I believe it can help you too. So let's just go on. So this is basically me sharing my LinkedIn journey so far. And one thing I need to mention is, throughout the course of this webinar, you would see me share screenshots. It's not to brag, it's basically just to show you that everything I'm saying is what has happened to me. So that way, it's probably give you some sense of motivation that, oh, what she's actually saying works. So my LinkedIn journey so far, I started using LinkedIn in 2014. Um, when I started using it, it was just fresh out of school. I just went there. Everybody was saying there's LinkedIn, there's LinkedIn. So I just wanted to just put my own profile out there. The only job I probably had then was my internship I did in 2013 for about 4 or 5 months. And I just didn't know what it was about. So from 2014, after I got like my jobs in Nigeria, from then on, I'll just post whenever I've gotten a new job. I will say, oh, Upson News, I've gotten a new job. People tell you congratulations, and then I'll move on. Then I'll congratulate people whenever I open the app and I see they've gotten their new jobs, right? I think most people see it as that. But it was not until 2021, that's when I started actually actively sharing on LinkedIn. And at this point was when I was pivoting careers from engineering to data analytics. I was just finding a way to share the project I was working on, and I think then I wasn't even sure what I was doing. It was because I was taking then, I think they prompted people to share their work on different platforms. And you can see the post is very short. I just posted a link to the article I had written on this particular project. And I think this year you can see it was an article on analysis of Toronto neighborhoods using machine learning. To me, it was just I was also very scared because I was changing careers from engineering, and in my head I was thinking, what would my previous colleagues think? That this girl division now, she has spent 4 years in engineering, oil and gas, and now she's doing something completely different. I know a couple of people that have been on that path. And the funny thing is, when I started sharing, I was thinking all these people were going to say things like that. But the funny thing is that now these same people I was worried about are also, a couple of them are also on this same journey that I'm on, and they're using exactly the same playbook I was using. So I know a couple of people I talk to will say, oh, they're scared to share, they are scared to put themselves out there. But I want to tell you that it actually works. So after I started sharing, that was my first project, and then each post I shared after that, I was just like, oh, how people receive this. And then this particular project I shared, this was back in 2021, you can see 3 years ago, was one of, it was also a very big pivotal point for me. It was at this point that I started getting messages from people telling me, oh, they love my work. People were asking me how I did certain projects, things like that. And that was when I started getting referrals. And I want to say up until this point, I've gotten like several job leads on LinkedIn, and not once I've ever asked anybody to give me a referral, but I still get job referrals, and I'll be sharing how that happens, right? So at that point, I started getting referrals. This was one I got from a manager in Scotiabank. It's one of the big four banks in Canada. And then he was asking me, he just had randomly asked me that he loved my work. And I was trying to ask me how I got the data I used, right? And I think from there we just started talking, and then we were talking about the project. And next thing he was like, "Oh, Jessica, where do you work?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm not working yet. I'm just interviewing at this point," which I was then. And next thing he says, "Oh, I can refer you. I have this role in my company, and my wife also has this particular role in our company." And that was kind of how I got an interview in this company. I didn't end up getting the job, right? But it's just to show you that yes, people are saying, "Oh, people don't give referrals. I'm looking for referrals." I'm just trying to tell you that this is another way to get it without actually going to ask for referrals. And this is just one of many that I actually got. And then the job I finally got that period I was job searching, that was after just me pivoting from engineering to data analytics, was also gotten on LinkedIn. My current job as well, I got it as a result of using LinkedIn jobs. So again, this tool is really very powerful for your job search, and this is just a way for me to kick off the session. And currently, I'm still getting referrals every other week. I get recruiters coming to tell me, "Oh, we have this particular role in our company. I think you'll be perfect for it," things like that, right? Obviously, I'm not interviewing now, but because I'm on maternity leave. But again, it's just to show you that this tool that a lot of people ignore and just go there to post when you get a new job is actually helping a lot of people. And this is not just a story from me. There are other people as well that attest to this. So what we're just going to be doing today is talking about how we can replicate the same. Okay, so I'm also trying to also read the chat as we go along so I don't miss anything. So let's go. So next thing is we're just going to be talking today about how you can do the same in your own career. So these strategies I talked about, these are the four strategies. I tried my best to make it rhyme into something, but it doesn't rhyme. RCSA. The first is revamp. The second is to connect. The third is to share, and next is to apply. I'll be explaining what all of this means, but I think you can just obviously guess from just the words itself. So first thing I think you need to do is to overhaul your LinkedIn profile if you're looking to do this revamp. And next, you have to meet people, meet them virtually, not obviously physically, and then be visible. And next thing I think is before you apply, we'll talk about ways for you to stand out in your applications. So just another quick question for everyone. I promise this is my last question. If you were to go to the market, for example, right, and you see these two stalls in the market, so you're going to any local market around you, and though I know our local markets come from Nigeria, I know this is pretty, but you see these two stalls, stall A and stall B, right? Which one would you go to first? So there are no wrong answers. Let me know if it's A or B in the live chat. So would you go to A or would you go to B? Okay, so I see everybody's choosing B. Tijani, Patrick, Renita, Benita, Tech. Okay, Viv says B. Toyin says B. Okay, everybody says B. Okay, what if the answer is actually A? Yeah, what if the answer is actually A? Okay, so personally as well, I would go for B. Okay, I like everybody. Ifoma says B, Lindy says B, Nonia says B, Hannah says B, Faye says B. Okay. So Okay, so yeah, I tend to agree with everybody. I personally go for B, right? Because I'm going to the market to buy something. A doesn't really show anything. It's just empty. I don't know if it's bread that is displayed there, but yeah, it's not actually showing me anything, right? And I want to buy something for my family to eat. But in some instance, what if A actually has the things hidden? You know, some markets we go to and they'll tell you, oh, okay, there another shop, or I won't go bring them from warehouse, right? What if that's what's happening in A? But in this case, right, nobody really cares because there's nothing displayed, nothing shown, it's not attractive. And then I readily go for B. And I think that's how we as potential employees or people in the job market need to what we need to do to set ourselves apart. And then that brings us to our strategy one, which is revamp, right? Like just like we talked about, if you picture yourself in a market, right, you're going to buy something. The store you go to is the one that probably offers, maybe in some cases, before you even talk of price, the goods you're selling has to be like attractive or even looks like a lot. Like people like to go to those markets places where they have like bulk because they feel like, okay, they will probably have lower prices. That's just how I used to go to markets when I was in Nigeria. But um you have to be showing something. You have to show something that's also attractive to people. And that's basically how it is for us in job markets. We are the people selling something, right? The recruiters and the companies, whoever, the hiring managers, they're the ones that want to buy what we're selling. But for them to be able to even approach you to buy, that persona, that your online profile has to be top notch in this very, very competitive job market, right? So you picture yourself in a job market and you go to a particular market and there are like 100, 500 people selling the same thing. And in the real world, you have thousands of people doing that same thing that you're doing. How would you like set yourself apart, right? And LinkedIn is one way for you to be able to do that. Because a lot of people kind of undervalue it and people just take it for granted. So that's what we'll be talking about today. So for you to revamp is a way of just overhauling, not being Mr. A and just being Mr. B, right? And just putting yourself out there. And one thing is that you'll be surprised that the number of people that are very attractive don't really have a lot of substance in what they are selling, but because of the way they package themselves, it makes it look as if they are very grandiose and people recruiters will be more attracted to what they're selling, right? So for you to be able to do that, like have that beautiful store, you have to focus on these five areas in your LinkedIn profile. Again, the no-brainer. Your profile picture is what people see first. Your headline, the summary that you show, your experience, and then your skills. And then we'll just talk about these five areas, and then we'll do the first practical session on LinkedIn. So first is for revamping, your profile picture has to be a clear headshot. And one thing people don't realize is you don't need to go to a big shot photographer to be able to do this. If anybody sees me on Instagram, LinkedIn, that profile I've been using it, that picture I've been using it since 2021, I think. And I took it in. My sister helped me to take the picture in our living room, and we just did makeup. She helped me to take it, and then you can easily use Canva to edit the background and just put any color of background that you want, and you have a headshot. So it's not something very big that you need to go to a photo studio, hire a makeup artist, and whatever. And another thing is your profile picture is what people see first. And believe it or not, when I get connection request on LinkedIn, I'm not being like classist or being discriminatory, but when I see profile pictures that are like that's the first thing I see, and once it's not clear and it's looking very not nice, I just reject that connection request. So I'm like, why don't you just pay attention to these two things? And then next thing is your headline. Um, a lot of people I also see doing this thing where maybe they're trying to go into a new career path. They're saying things like, "Oh, data analyst enthusiast, projects manager in training." Um, for me, those things don't inspire confidence in whoever wants to employ you personally. If you are if that's something you're doing currently on your profile and maybe you put it for me to review on this call, please don't remove it before we start our review. So things like that, I think you should remove it because it doesn't inspire confidence, right? If you're planning to be a data analyst or if you're looking for a data analyst role, you're a newbie maybe, just put data analyst, right? You don't have to tell people you're an enthusiast, right? Keep learning and keep improving. Because another thing is the interviews you get from having like a great profile are things that will also help you that will also help you on your learning journey as well, right? Because you're getting questions that you probably, even if you don't know the question, the moment you get asked, you go back and then reflect on it and find the answers to it, and it prepares you for your next interview. So if you have things like this on your profile, please remove it. Some people tell you fake it till you make it. Quite alright, but just remove these words: enthusiast, aspiring, whatever in training. Remove it from your profile, or even intern. Just put data analyst, project manager, business analyst, software engineer, whatever profession you're in, engineer, whatever it is, just put it there. And then revamp. So we're talking about next thing is summary we mentioned. So your summary should be something pretty short and precise. Like it's a summary, it should just be something very short. And I said if you're gonna like write a summary, I think you should follow this format, which is what you do and for how long you've done it, a major accomplishment that you have, skills, and then if you're volunteering, you can also mention it as well. So I'm not going to read through what we have here, but what I put here is an example. And because the session is recorded and if you registered, you get the link. This is an example of a summary that I think is well written. And believe it or not, this is not my profile summary. This is something I saw on someone's profile on LinkedIn. And I just re rejigged it, right, to get what we have here. And just to also mention, right, there are millions of profiles on LinkedIn, right? Yeah, probably people that you admire on LinkedIn. There's no harm in going to their profile, seeing what works for you on that profile, and then just repurposing it for yourself. Something someone told me a long time ago is really nothing new under the sun. Whatever you're trying to do, someone has done it before, done it better. So it's just, I'm not saying copy word for word, but you can as well repurpose it for yourself, right? And for example, this person is a product manager. What they do as a career is not what someone as a software engineer or data analyst would do. So you can as well just, oh, what did this person do and what's working here for me, and then propose it for yourself. So this is just an example. So if you ever come back to this video, you will just see the example here for the summary. And then next, which is also very important, is experience and skills. Your experience is okay, what have you done so far, right? And these two these two areas of your LinkedIn profile, it's kind of what would make recruiters want to reach out to you. So first thing I'm saying here for experience is when you when you are putting together your experience from your CV, because it's basically you copying your resume and putting it online. When you're doing this, please, first thing is use generic job titles, and I'll say why I'm saying this. And what do I mean by use generic job titles? Myself as an example, my role I had with Geotab, which I don't know if you can see here, the role with Geotab was the job title I was given was people analyst. Well, my LinkedIn profile, I have data analyst here. The reason being that people analyst, that's the name. It's not a very common job title. So if as a recruiter they're looking for a data analyst, they come to my profile probably won't be excluded first of all because that name probably doesn't rhyme with data analyst, for example. Same thing with my job in Sobeys. My title is replenishment analyst, and what I'm doing is data analysis, right? It's just what the company decides to call that role. In Geotab, for example, I was doing analysis on HR data. In Sobeys, I'm doing analysis on e-commerce data for the demand planning team, which is responsible for replenishing our our website, which is why the title replenishment analyst, right? But again, it's not a common job title, and it's even in some companies, replenishment analyst means something completely different. So, if for example, I'm keeping that job title, and a recruiter goes on LinkedIn Recruiter app and is trying to say, "Oh, I'm looking for data analyst in Toronto area, Canada," my profile might be excluded because that doesn't fit my job title. I know a lot of other companies that give very long titles, manager of ABC portfolio, that doesn't really make any sense. I think if that's the case, please don't write that very long job title. Just look what's generic. Is it project manager? Put it there. Is it product you're responsible? Just put it there. Is it risk? Just put it there. Don't put that very long job title. In your resume, you can maybe explain further, or when you're writing like your accomplishments, you can now put what the real job title is. But please, this is one thing I think a lot of people don't do. And for couple of LinkedIn profiles I've reviewed, have this particular issue. They put a very long job title that makes no sense, but it's not common, right? And it kind of excludes them sometimes if recruiters are actually looking for people with a particular job title in a particular area. Next is add relevant skills for each role. We'll look at this in the practical session and I'll show you how what I mean by that. And then max out skills. I think more of this, okay, I said more of this in job submit. Okay. So I said at the beginning that the skills section is very important. Again, because your experience and your skills is mostly what LinkedIn will use to match you to recruiters. And it's also what when you submit a job on LinkedIn, it's kind of what will help rank you among the applicants for that job to the recruiter. So that's why I'm kind of spending time on this to explain that these things have to be set properly on your profile. And then, 'cause I'm saying here, the XYZ method is your best friend. And the reason I'm saying this is I know a lot of people that have probably seen me, if you have seen me talk about resumes before, is one of the biggest problems I see in resumes that I review as well. People don't know how to write their achievements properly. A lot of people use responsibility instead of achievements. Something like, oh, I did I did reports every day for my boss. I'm not saying that I'm writing, but something like that. Instead of saying it in a particular way using this method. So XYZ method is something I've always preached, and I'll show practical examples of what I mean by this. And the first is this. This is an example here. The X obviously is something that you should not write. So you can see something like it looks really nice looking at it, but it doesn't really communicate much to me if I want to employ you. So here I'm saying, yes, so the person says analyze the data daily, created dashboards, and made presentations to the team, which seems nice, but like it's something that anybody can do, to be honest. It's something that will probably written in a job description that you're meant to do. So it's your job you're actually doing. But what recruiters want to see, remember the analogy of the store. What they want to see is they want to see people that will actually do something, that will actually go above and beyond on their team. They want people that would actually accomplish something and take their company to the next level. So you just putting a daily task that you do on your resume as an accomplishment doesn't really say much to the team, even though you may have accomplished a whole lot. You're not communicating it properly on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile. That's something that always like excludes people, and I always tell people, please try learn how to write these things properly. And that's why I talk about the XYZ method every single time. It's did what you did, what you used to do it, and what was the result of what you did. So a better way of writing this, which I put in the green here, is develop automated dashboards using SQL, blah, 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 which reduce reporting time by this for the team. And it's something that is really, really easy to do. And I'll show you one trick on how you can get this done very fast if your resume is in a state where it's not in the XYZ method. This is another example here. Conducted monthly reviews and prepared insights on growth and sales. But a better way to write it is conducted monthly reviews using a particular tool, which is Excel, to identify growth opportunities, which led to 15% increase in sales over 6 months. Now, someone seeing this, right? Who 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 would who would you want to hire if you see the first one above and the one beneath? As someone that owns a company, I would definitely go for a person that writes it like this. Because in my head, even if you probably did not do it, or like even if you probably did not do it, but the foresight to be able to have done this or to present it this way shows that yeah, at least you are sensible to an extent. So basically it's so easy it's so easy to do, to be honest, and I'll show you a simple trick on how this can be done, which you can replicate. Because like I said on at the beginning of the call, this is something that you can do yourself. You don't have to pay a lot of money for someone to help you do it. And the trick here is ChatGPT, which a lot of people know the tool but still don't know how to use it well. there are a lot of AI tools. It's not just ChatGPT. There's Cloud, there's Gemini that you can use to replicate this what I'm talking about. So if you see here, I gave ChatGPT the prompt, right? If I just go back one step, just let me see. The first prompt was conducted monthly reviews and prepared insights on growth and sales, right? So if you come here, this was what I put. I wrote exactly the same thing in ChatGPT, and I said make the above into the format did X using Y to get Z. And ChatGPT gave me this first response, which was conducted monthly sales using data analysis to prepare insights on growth and sales. And I'm like, no, I'm not really comfortable with that because it doesn't really communicate much. And then I said, okay, I need something with a measurable achievement. And then he gave me this second answer, which is conducted monthly analysis reviews using data analysis and identify growth opportunities, blah, 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 which is exactly the same thing. But then obviously I changed data analysis to Excel because data analysis is quite vague to somebody if you're a data analyst, there are like different tools you can use analysis. So I put a tool here, and I know I might be saying much, but again, one thing recruiters also look out for is for each at the top of your resume or on your LinkedIn profile, you would have put different skills that you have, right? But then again, when you go into each job experience that you have, most people fail to realize that recruiters are also looking for how you utilize those tools that you say you can use in your job. So when people fail to put these particular tools when they write their accomplishments, which is something that might also exclude you as well. Because I've had interviews where recruiters will ask me, okay, you say you can use Power BI, you say you can use a particular tool, or you say you have this knowledge, right? Is what role did you use it in? Even though you would say it at that point in time, but if it's on your resume, there's nothing for them to actually like rank you or prove that they will believe you. So that's why this is also very important as well. So it's not everything ChatGPT gives you that you spit out, but again, this way it has written something really concise that makes a measurable achievement. And then I also want to say this: please, it's not for you to end up lying, right? For each achievement you put on a resume, there has to be a story behind it, something that you've actually done. So again, even if this person had said content monthly reviews and prepared insights, there has to be a result from that, which is what this 15% increase is. So in your case, it could be 2%, it could be 1%, but at least just let it be a measurable achievement, which is why the did X using Y to get Z method is there. I hope this makes sense for now. Okay, so I'm going to pause here. I don't know if I should take questions now. Yeah, let's take like a few questions now, and then we'll look at LinkedIn practically before we finish off this segment. So I'll take questions from what I've just said. If there's something that you need, yeah, if there's something that you're not clear on, I will try to answer it while I switch the screen to LinkedIn. We're not done yet. I'm just switching screen, but there's still so much I need to show. Uh, let's see. How do I share again? Okay. Okay. There we go. This is good. So I'll stop. Then I'm going to share feed. Okay. I hope it's sharing. Yeah. Nice. Okay. So there are no questions for now. So I'm just going to just go to the next segment, which is just us doing like a first practical session for LinkedIn. So this is my LinkedIn homepage. If you open it, now first thing we talked about was profile picture and headline, right? Again, why it is so important is whenever someone looks at you, because nobody really goes to your profile except they are trying to stalk you, right? But one of the first things people would see when they scroll through their timeline is your profile picture and what your headline. So this is someone called Venus from Mati. This is a profile picture, which is really nice, and then obviously this is a headline, right? So the moment you have like a very not nice profile picture and then you have a headline that probably says enthusiast or aspiring or whatever, like you said, like some people don't really take you serious. So That's one thing I said. That's why I said it's also something you should pay attention to, because that's what first thing people see and want to even click to go into your profile. Now, I'll just go back from here. And then next we talked about, I'll go to mine. I talked about, okay, profile picture. Again, like I said, this picture is like 3 years old, but it was taken in my living room. I didn't have to go to a studio. I think it still serves its purpose up until this day. And like I said, the background, you can just remove background with Canva and then change it to any color that you want to just have something looking professional. Please don't take selfies like this or like this. For it doesn't look professional. And then one thing I didn't mention was location. So I know a couple of people that also like come to meet me and say, "Oh, I'm going to relocate very soon. I'm trying to find jobs before I relocate, or I just came to the country and I'm looking for jobs." Your location is also very important for recruiters to reach out, and also when you submit a job on LinkedIn, right? Because again, most recruiters want people located in the area they're advertising the job for. So some people also fail to change this location. Even if you're relocating and you're going to come to Canada soon, even when you're in Nigeria, you can, or Nigeria, or wherever you're locating from, you can still change that location. So that way, people in Canada can see that, okay, this person is here or is going to be here soon, and they can then interview you. When I was in Nigeria trying to relocate as well, I was already doing interviews in Canada, right? So it's something that you need to take care of. You need to be aware of. I know I didn't mention this earlier. Um, what else we talked about? We talked about summary. I don't think my summary is like the best, but again, it's just the same thing I mentioned. Put what you do, how long you've done it for, and then what tools you use as well. And then if you're volunteering, put it as well. And if you have any accomplishments, put it in your summary as well. The other thing I mentioned here, I hope this one is still sharing. The other thing I mentioned here was, oh, okay, there are questions. I'll come back. The other thing I mentioned here was when you edit your profile. So I'm just clicking on pencil sign here. When you edit your profile, first, use the XYZ method for your profile. Don't use my profile as a benchmark, but I try to do that as well on my profile, which it was something I actually did where I worked. So, and then also put the skills that you're going to that you used on that particular job. So, and LinkedIn has made it really easy. This feature wasn't there before. So, for example, I was data analyst at Geotab for this particular period. This is the description of what I did. And again, it's exactly what's on my resume that I just copied here. And then here you just add whatever skills that you use. And these skills are so important because again, it's what recruiters will use to match you to job opportunities. They're looking for people with certain skills. So if you miss out a skill that is very popular in your field on your profile, it kind of excludes you or it ranks you lower than someone who has like all of the skills. And I think it's even before it used to be 50 skills marks in total, but now it's way more than that because I know I had 50 at some point and I'm still able to add more skills to it. And LinkedIn is so good that they also even give you suggestions on skills to add to your profile. Also going to show another method um, on how to add more skills when we go to the job segment of this webinar. So what else do I want to share here? Yeah, so for experience, again, you know what you did in your work. The only thing I'm mentioning here is use your XYZ method. So if you're able to add different skills you use on the different jobs that you've done, oh wait, let me go back. If you're able to do that, then in your skills segment, oh my god, what's going on? Excuse me. In your skills segment of your LinkedIn profile here. So if you scroll all the way down, where is it again? Yeah, it kind of populates it for you already. Another thing in this is that it also highlights what which particular job you did this you use this skill, right? So that's something I mentioned as well. That you should also have on your resume. Find a way to include it in the achievements that you've accomplished for that role because Again, recruiters want to know that it's not just you mentioning, because it's easy for someone to mention I can use 10 different types of software. But how did you actually, what role did you actually use it in, and what did you accomplish with those tools? Again, will set you apart from people that are actually lying. So again, please, your skill section, very important. I'm just going to answer a couple of questions I'm seeing here. Someone says, what if you haven't worked? This is from Annie. What if you haven't worked and do not have any experience in data analytics? How do you use this? Okay, so let me go back to my profile. So I'm a good example of that, Annie, right? Because before I got my first job as a data analyst, this was my role, technical specialist. And if you see my previous roles, engineer, this, I had not done anything data analysis at all. I believe we all do internships in university, so that's already a job role for you. So let's assume you're a fresh graduate. First of all, you probably would have done an internship, so that's one. I don't know why in Nigeria, for some reason, we only do one type of internship, like one internship. I know abroad people do like internship first, second, third year to the last, so they gain that experience. So I don't know if anybody listens to me in uni. I think, and maybe you're in Nigeria, please find a way to do multiple internships. But if you've not done internship, one way to build experience is through volunteering. So I think I just removed it. Before now, I had a volunteering experience as well because of my work with data tech space that I founded, right? So if you volunteered somewhere and maybe you volunteer as an analyst, for example, it also counts as experience if you've not exactly built experience. So that's something you can also add as a job. But obviously, just note in, I think in your experience session, I don't know if there's a way to note that it's a volunteer role. I just want to check here. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, okay. In some cases, they call it freelance apprenticeship. You can use this, right? Internship, and just call it that. So that's one way to build experience. There are also, I know there are also companies now that do this where they allow you gain real world experience by giving you projects to work on. I've seen a couple of people use that as well. For certain companies that they do like internship with after training, that also counts as experience. Um, in my case, like I said, when I was applying for that, this was back in 2021. When I was applying for data analyst roles, I did not have any form of data analyst experience, and I did not change my CV to like some people would do to say data analyst in a particular company when they were not, right? But because I was working on projects, when I would go for interviews, I remember this particular interview I had with Geotab, all they dissected was my projects with Bridgerton, and they're asking me ways to improve that project. And that was kind of how I got the job, right? Just talking about the project I'd worked on. So again, you can use volunteering roles. If you volunteer, you can use internships with some of these companies, right? As experience. How do you balance the difference between resume and LinkedIn profile? I don't think there's much difference, to be honest. I just feel like your LinkedIn profile has a whole lot more to offer than your resume would, because your LinkedIn profile is always there when you are not. Because even sometimes when people come to meet me and say, "Oh, please, Jessica, refer me for this role," the first thing I do is check their LinkedIn profile because I might not have your resume. So your LinkedIn profile, I would say, is probably a step higher than your resume, to be honest. So for me, when I was job searching, everything you see on my resume was on my LinkedIn profile. I just took the experience, pasted it there. I don't know why people don't do that, but if you're job searching, just note everything that you're doing there, right? I think I'll try and take more questions later. I've tried to answer a few. If I think I've also answered the question, because it's similar to what Annie asked, right? Talking about doing your LinkedIn with little to no experience. Volunteering roles count. If you don't volunteer, maybe you can start volunteering. If you've done like internships with few companies before, put it there. Um, Projects go a long way. Believe it or not, there are people that are probably not worked, but when they post their projects on LinkedIn, which I'm also going to talk about, they get people coming to meet them. Will you work for my company? I know someone with with that experience as well, that from just posting a project or what she was working on, she got a job. So I think that should work. Okay, so Let me go back. Stop sharing. I think I've taken a lot more time. Okay. So I'll try to just breeze through this session because we kind of have like 40 minutes more. So next, from if everybody remembers our RCSA, revamp, connect, share. Next is to connect. Um, so again, I'm saying it in a particular order, and there's a reason for me doing this. So after you've maybe revamped your profile from what we've talked about, next is to start connecting with people. And I put connect second because it is very, very important. Um, like the connections I've had have taken me a whole lot more to like a very to a higher level. And I believe that a lot of people that reached out to me when I was job searching and then offering to give me referrals, most of them I was not even I wasn't connected to them first, right? I was mostly um maybe a second connection at best to them, and they were able to see my work. Another thing I was doing when I was new to LinkedIn or when I just started sharing then was to take out time a day, if it's connect to at least 10 people. And the people I was connecting with were people that I had either similar job titles to mine, they were hiring managers, or they were in companies that I wanted to work in. So let's say it was an Amazon or companies in Canada generally, and people that were located in Canada. And again, I put it in a particular order for a reason. So if let's say for example you want to be a project manager, it makes no sense for you to be connecting with people that are not project managers, first of all. Like your priority should be connecting with people that share similar job titles, because it means that in that person in the project manager you're going to be connecting with, they also have similar project managers as well, and they also have their bosses at work that are their connections. And the way LinkedIn work is, once you post something, right, there's this multiplier effect where it just kind of goes from one person to another. And I probably fail to show this, but if you are someone that uses LinkedIn a lot, you will notice that when you scroll on your timeline, most of the posts that you see are not only posts from connections. Also, you also see posts that your connections have liked, your connections have reposted, or your connections have commented on. So if you are person A here, for example, um, and you're connected to person C, A, B, C, D, E, and F. Yeah, on the second, those are your first connections, so to say. Once you post something as person A and person B likes it, it then automatically goes to persons 3, 4, and 5, which form your second base connections. So again, it just has that multiplier effect. And then if person 3 likes it, it then goes on to their own connections, and then it goes like that. And from then on, like you have people that you probably are not connected with seeing your work, seeing what you've done, or seeing your whatever you've posted. And I believe that's how it worked for me, because I spent my time connecting with data analysts that were in the country I was moving to, or that I was in Canada, right? If you're in UK, connect with data analysts in UK, connect with project managers in UK, connect with hiring the managers of the project managers, right? And that's kind of how you will grow. Another thing this helps with is, if you find yourself applying for a job in the companies of these people, you don't have to start using LinkedIn Premium or sending connection requests to ask for referrals, because you're already a first connection. And let's say peradventure you've been liking or commenting on their post, they already have like that rapport with you, so to say. So it might not be difficult to ask for a referral. Sometimes I see people coming to me for referrals, and I'm like, I don't really know you, so it kind of stains my reputation if I now refer you and you are like, and I'm not sure like of you can actually do the job you're asking me to refer you to. But if it's someone that I know that's already been in my network, it's kind of easier for me to just check their profile and then like help them like get referred where I work. So again, people will just feel like we're just trying to take advantage. And I've seen a lot of people complain on LinkedIn about that people just come and ask for referrals and they don't know them, right? So that's why I feel connecting first will help you go a long way. So please take out time. You see someone on your timeline that you like, connect with them. Or you can just go to LinkedIn, type data analyst Toronto, data analyst Lagos, Nigeria. That way you have those people in your connections, right? So please, this is the second step. Please connect with people. And I just want to also show some of the results, what I was explaining. So you can see here, the first instance, I have these people on top, David and I know them, and they like this person's post. I normal day I won't see this person's post, but because they liked it and their own connections, I can see the post. Same thing here for this person. Saunders is my connection. She liked this post. I didn't now know. I now know who Vashali is. And then I just want to also share this last screenshot. This was someone, a recruiter coming to meet me. She was saying that the reason she reached out was because she saw that I shared a couple of connections in the company where she worked. It was Lightspeed, and that was why she was reaching out to recruit me. She wanted to talk about the particular role they had, and again, it was because I was connected to our connections in the company. And I think the reason I was connected to those people was because when I was job searching in 2021, so it was like 3 years ago, I had an interview with them. And one thing I do when I have interviews in those companies is I just go and then I look for people in that company and connect with them just to ask about like interview questions, things like that. So she saw that I was connected and said, "Oh, let me ask if she's interested in the role." That I was not interested though, but it's just again a way to show that you connecting actually does help. I don't know if I'll skip this, but let's see. Yeah, because I already mentioned all of this already. What connections will help, connecting will help you do. So next is sharing. I've had people tell me, "Oh, you don't know what to share. It's they're afraid of what people will think, things like that, or you don't know if people will like their post." I don't think it matters if anybody likes your post. One thing Sherry does is even if you don't have people connecting with it, it kind of just gives you like a paper trail, to show that you didn't just start doing something, that you've been consistent in it. That's one thing I feel sharing on LinkedIn does. So if, for example, you're moving into a new career path and you start sharing your work, people start to see it. But beyond that, the day someone, let's say hiring manager or recruiter goes to your profile, your post will show on there what you've posted about. And they kind of already start seeing that, oh, this person actually might know what they're talking about. So sharing kind of does that for you. And again, what do you share? For me, mostly I post about projects, or then I share my learnings or something that I've learned from from work, or from maybe working on a particular tool. I share it. Um, you can also share your thoughts. If maybe your industry is something where you don't really work on projects, like maybe software engineers or analysts would do, you can share, like maybe there's a new tool that you've used, share your thoughts about using the tool. You'll be surprised how people will relate to it, to be honest. So these are examples of things you can share about. Another thing sharing does is it makes you visible. It makes people see you, right? And that's why I'm putting it third after connecting, because by connecting with people and then people liking your post, it then makes their own connections see you, and before you know it, your reach is like your reach is is outstanding. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. So yeah, so that's one thing sharing does for you on your job search journey. I just want to share this testimonial. I have a lot of testimonials, but I just want to put this here. So if you remember the project I shared, or is this, yeah, if you remember the project I shared at the very beginning, when I talk about two projects that people reached out to me, this was another example of one, right? Where this person, I think she was a manager, I can't remember, but she was working at Apple, and she was like, "Oh, awesome job with your tweet something analysis. I'm hiring for Siri if you're interested, if you find it interesting." I'm like, at this point, I just started learning. Like, I was just playing around with machine learning, and I'm like, I don't know what this person is talking about. But I said, okay, schedule instead. But I'm just trying to tell you that here is an example that there are people actually looking out for the work you're doing. There are people that are there that will just scroll and see your work and be like, oh, this person might be brilliant. Let's see if I can hire her, right? So maybe not to get an interview that it might sure you're not brilliant, but the point is, share your work. People are looking out for what you're doing, right? And again, another thing I want to bring out from here is this from this conversation is I then went on to look at the role and I saw that they asked for someone with 5 years experience. And here I am, I had like 0 years of experience. And I told her, I don't have experience, I'm just working on projects. And then she was like, Jessica, just apply. You find other jobs, just apply. I don't remember being called for the interview, but just want to show that please, like, you don't shortchange yourself when you see job opportunities, right? And please share your work. This is another example. I don't know if I want to go into details of this one. Oh yeah, this one, this one was actually really good, and I shared about it recently. This I created a visualization for LinkedIn, not for LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn profile. So I was trying to share how I had grown on LinkedIn over the years, and just like I don't know if I saw that project, but I was trying to share that, and then she saw it. She works for LinkedIn, and then she was like, "Oh, she liked one of my videos. This was Queen's Gambit, and how I highlighted it. The project, when I look at it today, I don't think it was so great, but they found it amazing. And then she went on to say, ask me if I was looking to move to their company, right? That was LinkedIn. And then just you can see 12:15, 12:36. Before she could even reply me, I saw an email from her saying from her. I didn't even send her my email, so it was just weird, saying that, oh, this person had referred me for a particular role. I went on to do that interview, past first, second, I think third, fourth stage. Then I think when we got to the last point, they now said, oh, sorry, the role was in US or something. But again, it just shows that please sharing really does work. Please, so please share your work, share what you're doing. You don't know who's watching, right? And like I said, I've never asked for referral because I consider myself a shy person, and I don't kind of like handouts. So if you are like me, this is another way to just go about it, right? Just sharing what you worked on, and you'll be surprised at opportunities that will come your way. Even if okay, so lastly is apply, and this is the last thing I'm going to talk about, which is kind of the very big part when it comes to jobs. We talked about skills initially, and I said skill section carries a lot of weight because it is what matches you to jobs, and I will talk about that practically. Next thing I'm saying here is okay, yes, for point one and point two, I'm going to talk about it very soon when we go onto LinkedIn because I want to show you how it works. Use potential jobs to add additional skills to what you already have. And then when you search for jobs, even though I said use generic job type, don't use generic job titles on your LinkedIn profile. When you're searching, don't limit yourself to those generic job titles because it is kind of what gave me those two jobs I mentioned using LinkedIn. And I'm also going to show that practically. And then as well, you don't have to meet all of the requirements. Requirements are just a wish list. Even when we hire in on my team, we put a lot of things that the person must know how to do. But believe it or not, when we interview, we don't get everybody that matches that job requirements. Even people that match it, sometimes they don't even scale through the first part of the interview. So please don't limit yourself when you apply, and then focus on recent job postings, which is a no-brainer. If you see job postings of like 2 months ago, 1 month ago, best believe that they've already had like thousands of applications already. So sometimes it's best to just start applying from the ones that are very recent. And then if you must ask for referrals, you should use your connection. That's why I said connect first. Connect with people daily, connect with people if you're recruiting. I'm also going to show you how to search on the timeline for posts. And then when you also apply, you can also reach out to recruiters. So I didn't put a format here, but I'll put a format. I'll share it maybe when I send an email out with the link on how you can like approach recruiters if you've applied for a role in their company. So let's just see what I talked about because it's more practical if I show you what I just mentioned about jobs. So that's the last thing we'll look at. I'm just looking at time here. Um, Again, please just keep dropping your questions. I'll try to answer as many as I can. So let me just share my LinkedIn again. So for jobs, right? I like this part so much. So this is something I also show my clients. So let's see. So the first thing I said is when you go to search for job, so this is job segment. For me, it's just giving me jobs based on my current job title, right? When you go to search for jobs, let's assume I'm a da, da, da. Let me see. Yeah, someone is saying my screen is blank, so I'm going to stop sharing and I'll try share again. Okay. Okay, so I stopped and I'm starting to share again. So I'm just going to wait for whether it's saying or not saying. Okay. So I'm just going to continue. So let's look at it together. So I'm searching for, I don't know, it's giving me data analyst. Let me use something else. Project manager. Uh, so these are jobs already in, it's giving me jobs based on where I'm located in Canada, right? So one thing I also do then is to go and I don't post anytime. So I go and look for either past week, past 24 hours. So this is what I start to apply with first before I start going to older jobs. So this, for example, one day ago, please don't be fooled by 100 applicants. Still apply. Um, Sometimes it's just based on people that some people might click this link to apply, but they don't end up following through the process. So by all means, please don't limit yourself. And if possible, um, yeah, some people also don't swear by LinkedIn Easy Apply. I think I've gotten a couple of interviews with LinkedIn Easy Apply, but if you see something like this, for example, Apex System, I think is it's a if you see something like this that doesn't link you to the company's site, like apply, you can as well go to directly to the company site and check that the job exists. That's one thing I think people should also try to do. Another thing I also want to mention here is even if you use Easy Apply, for example, let's assume like the company actually wants to use LinkedIn Easy Apply. I'm just going to change this back to data analyst. Let's assume I change to data analyst. Or for example, this is Sobeys. I don't know why they're giving me a job in the company I work. So let's look at Sun Life, for example. If I scroll down on this job application, job ad, for example, right? Let me open it fully. It's not opening. Yeah. If I scroll down, I'm just trying to scroll down. I'm going to see this. I'm going to see something that is called skills with the job post, right? So you see here where it says skills at the job post, blah blah blah. This. So if a company is using LinkedIn primarily to recruit, right, they would want to make sure that you fit in, you fit with most of these skills. So it's a way for you to add them add them to your profile. In this case, for example, I have like 8 of the skills on my profile, and I just have this two. I don't know what it means, but they're telling me to add it. So you can as well just go ahead and do that before you apply. And that's a way for you to also build your skill section to have most of the skills on your job application. That's one thing that I think people should learn how to do. So same thing here as well. If I scroll down, see this in this case was skills added by the job poster, right? So they want people with all of these skills, but in my case there might be some that I don't have. In this case, dashboards, statistical analysis tools, I don't have them, so they want me to add it. So I can as well just go and add it, and then it's asking me here, where did I use these skills, right? So I've used dashboards in all of these companies that I've worked in, so I'm just going to do that and then I'll save it, right? um So again, now nine of my skills match, and then it obviously just helps me to get ranked higher. That's why I say please focus on your skills section. So this is a way to add skills and to see how the skills you have on your profile rank on LinkedIn. Another thing this does is that when recruiters are coming on LinkedIn to basically check for candidates, to source for candidates, right? So there are some jobs where recruiters just go and message people, oh, do you want to apply, do you want to apply, without advertising, because they don't want so many applications. That's another way for you to get ranked higher with them, right? To have a solid skills profile and obviously have a great profile when they look at it. What else am I missing that I didn't mention? Yeah, another thing is the search bar. So let's go to normal profile now. I think I'm done here. So another thing you can do is, if for example you're looking to reach out directly to people that are recruiting, you can just come here, hiring. um let me see, go data analyst. So I'm just typing now. This is not in the job section, this is in my home page. Data analyst, let's say Canada, right? And people that follow me, I've showed this before on my link on my page. So you can filter here and say past week. It's always good to have like the most current, right? And then this person here is hiring for this particular role. You can reach out directly to them. Another thing is, please be able to filter out jobs that might not be legit. Like something like this now, I probably want to recruit, right? Um, for example, this is a recruiter right now here saying she's hiring for this particular role. So if you fit the description, you can as well reach out to her directly, right? And say, oh, I'm looking for this role. This is my resume, stuff like that. So again, you have people like that coming to put here. Even sometimes when we recruit, I post on my LinkedIn and say, oh, we're hiring, and I put the job posting. So if, for example, you've applied to that role, it's a way for you to reach out to those people and tell them, okay, I've applied, can you refer me, or do you think there's a way for me to put my best foot forward for this particular interview? So I think these are the few things I wanted to show here. So I'm going to stop sharing and reshare. So for you can always come back to watch. Okay, thank you. You can always come back to watch this. Okay, you can always come back to watch this video if you want to go through what I've talked about. So I think this is towards the end. I just hope I've showed everything. Don't worry, if there's anything I think I missed, I will always post about it. So again, if you still need help, I'm going to review some profiles here. You think you cannot do all this by yourself, you can as well go to my top mate link and then book a one-on-one session with me to help you like go through what we've talked about. If you think you can't do it by yourself, but I feel like what we mentioned today, just take out time. It could just be 30 minutes each day. You look at a particular section of your profile on your resume and then just take out time to um do it yourself, right? So again, for takeaways, we talked about how having a great profile will attract people. So please revamp your profile. And then we'll talk about connecting with people. Again, take out time, connect people that are in your field, in your job location, and the companies that you want to work with, because you can't tell whenever you would apply to those companies and you will need someone for a referral or someone to tell you how the interview process is. Next is your skill section. Skill section is very important. It helps match you to jobs. So please max it out. I also showed you how you can add more skills and how you can use the job section on LinkedIn to apply to help add more skills and help you get ranked higher when you apply to these jobs. And again, like I've showed you my own testimonies, when you share, people see you, people know what you do. So if you don't, you keep your whatever you're working on your laptop, or you keep it in your drafts because you're scared of what people will say, then nobody actually sees what you're doing or what you can do. So please share and share. So right about now, I will just pause here, try to answer a few questions while we also, I think we'll do the review together from what we've talked about. So let's see if we've actually learned something on the on the call. So here's my okay. Let me see. Okay, so responses. Let's go to share. Okay. Okay, so let's see. So let me see if some of these people are still on the call. I think I will hide this. So let me just share. I don't know how I'm gonna share. Okay, so let me just see. So I have I don't know how to do this. I want to try and do it as randomly as possible. So let's pick number seven. 'Cause I like number seven. So a bear person number seven is a bear. So is she on the call? So Ibiere, if you're on the call, please let me know so that we can bring your profile up. If not, we'll just move to the next person so that we don't waste so much time. Okay, so I don't think Ibiere is still here. So let me see. I think I can see Spanish. I need to submit. Hmm. So let's try number 11. Abiola. Abiola still here? No. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Abiola is here. So I think I'll use Abiola and Patrick. So since both of them are on the call, so let's see. So we'll start with Abiola first, then we'll do Patrick next. All right. Ah, okay. I think I see what's happening. Just give me a second. Copy. Share. I'm just going to bring Abiola's profile up now. Okay, we're here. So I'm just going to share my screen in a bit. Uh, okay. So we're on Abiola's profile right now. You just tell me if you can see it so that we'll continue. Okay. 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 So I want to assume we can all see Abiola's profile on the screen. So okay, so first thing that stands out here is I think the profile picture is okay. If you disagree, let me know. The banner is missing. This is something you can create in Canva. I think I failed to show that, but I'll try and do that. So Canva, if you use Canva, Canva is something where it's free to use. You can just go in, type in LinkedIn banner on Canva, and it's to give you templates, and you just populate the template, and you can just have a banner showing. To be honest, I don't know why LinkedIn has these banners because I don't think it's useful. But again, it just makes your profile like pop, so to say. So that's missing on your profile, Abiola. So you can have that included. Next thing that stands out here is your headline. For me, I feel like it's a lot of things here. Um, so if it's a particular job title you're targeting, right, just put that particular job title here. So if it's planning analyst, just put it right. Don't put a lot of things. That's why you have the skills section to add in all of the skills that you can do. And another thing I see when I see people that have like multiple like jobs or things is like it's like I feel like you're doing so much and it kind of takes away focus from what you can actually do. So yes, I think for here, just put in like what exactly is the main job title you're targeting and just have that on your headline. Then you can just put a couple of skills, but not like this many to be honest. Um for summary or the about section, which is meant to be a summary, I think this also needs to be reduced a bit. Like let it just be a summary. Like we mentioned, it should just be okay, this is I have 10 years of experience. Like I say, you have a decade of experience. I have 10 years of experience in financial data analysis or financial analysis for different sectors like you have here. But then and then put like your major accomplishments. Um and then if you want to write the skills, let it just be towards the end and as a summary. Because believe it or not, a lot of people are not patient. And I'm not a patient person. I kind of consider myself a semi-patient person, right? To be able to read, if people just want to say, okay, what is this person about? and then move on. So having like so many things, it's kind of overwhelming for someone to read. And then you can end it with technical skills that you have here. Um, and then what else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, I like the way this is. So most of your experience I can see is in First Bank, which is great. And it kind of obviously shows like your evolution, like how you progressed over the years, which is fine. Um, the only thing I'm seeing missing here is that I see a lot of things that you've done in terms of responsibilities, but not actually achievement. So if, for example, I see here created complex financial models to forecast this. I see that as a responsibility. So something that is meant to be like your job to do. But what did that actually accomplish? Did it help your company or your department save X amount of money, for example? Did it help increase productivity? Did it help you increase profit or revenue over the years? Did your forecast model, was it like 95% accurate to what actually happened in reality? Things like that. Oh my God. Sorry, excuse the it is that's what will set you that's what will set you apart from whoever is you're going to be interviewing with. So I think that's kind of missing from here. This is nice, but I think this, for example, the bullet analysis is great, but I think assisted might not be the right word here, right? So like I showed earlier, using ChatGPT, in as much as you've done all of these things, you can also ask ChatGPT to give you examples of measurable achievements. So you can put in, for example, this particular task or responsibility and say, oh, ChatGPT, make this into a measurable achievement, make it just a single statement, and it will give you something that you can repurpose for your resume or for your LinkedIn profile. And that's something I think that is missing here. I like that you have different skills like we talked about, but I'm not sure if this is from LinkedIn or if it's something that you put in yourself, because I'm missing is okay, sorry, let me see. Okay, we have skill section here. Okay, which is great. So again, for your skill section, I think you should also do the same thing we talked about. I can't really go through everything now. You should go through the same thing we talked about. Yeah, some things are missing here. um go to jobs, and then from your profile, 'cause I can't do it on my profile for you, and then look for certain jobs you're interested in, and then see what skills those people are asking for, and if it's missing on your profile and you know those tools, please add them as well, because your profile kind of looks like an analytics profile. So in my head, some things that might be missing, Excel is fine, but a lot of companies also want people that know how to use Power BI or Tableau, for example, and I don't see that listed here. So it might be something that you would want to, maybe if you've not learned it, learn it, or add it if you probably omitted it on your profile. So that's what I can say here. If you have like any other thing you think I missed, please, from what you've learned today, you can also put it for Abiola in the comment section, please. Uh, so Patrick was meant to be next. So let me just bring up Patrick's profile in a minute. Uh, all right, let's do this together. So if you're seeing something on the profile that I probably failed to mention, please, it's a collaborative effort for us to help ourselves. Let You can also mention it as well so that we learn. Because in my head, like I don't know everything. Every day I also learn as well. I just share what I know. So this is Patrick's profile that's coming up very soon. So Patrick, nice header, but it doesn't really say much. Are you into like I don't know, urban planning or something? But yeah, I feel like your header should like say something about you. That's just my personal opinion. It's a nice looking header, but I just want to say something about you. Then okay. So if, for example, you're a data analyst, or like you have like skills you want to put, like something, just put it here. I think that would help. So Patrick, okay. So now it's Canada data analyst. Okay, now this is confusing. So again, um, I think you should only have one job title on your header. So if you're a data analyst, be a data analyst. If you're an engineer, be an engineer. So that's something I feel needs to be updated here. And you can also add like maybe two or three skills that you are good at as well, right? So if it's Power BI, SQL, just put it there that you know how to use those tools on your profile. Um, yeah. Then the about section as well, like we mentioned, it should say how many years of experience you have. Um, you should also talk about like some accomplishments that you have or what you like to do, and then the skills you use, and if you volunteer in your about section. So this again is kind of pretty vague, and it's not something that you kind of have to start thinking or trying to do from scratch. Like I said, there are millions of LinkedIn profiles. But I want to look at my profile and pick a thing or two. Look at someone else's profile, pick a thing or two, and before you know it, you have like a concise summary or a way to put your own summary based on what you've done. And then for experience as well, same thing. Kind of, I don't know if this is on pop. No, yeah, it doesn't really say okay what exactly you did, right? So if I come to look at your profile, for example, like it doesn't really say much in terms of like your achievements, right? So please, I think this needs to also be updated as well with what exactly you did in your internship, and then just put like accomplishments, like it could be projects that you worked on, just one or just three bullet points with what you accomplished in this particular um in these roles. Then okay, education is fine. Then we're going to certifications. To be honest, I don't really look at those. Then skills as well. For me, I just always look at tools and technology. This looks good. Power BI Tableau is there, SQL is there. Those are kind of the major things. So again, like the trick I mentioned earlier, okay, if you if you are looking for more skills to add, please do that. Another thing I will also check is, for example, also Patrick, I think you should also share. Okay, so I can see that you shared like a couple of projects that you worked on. Da, 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 which is great. Okay, I can't critique projects now because we're not doing that. But I like that you've been sharing as well, which is pretty great to like see your to see like your progress, which is great. I think I know Patrick personally, so um I would give feedback later on this project. I'll give feedback on this project later. But I like that you've been posting as well, which is really great, right? Um your connections were like 250 something, I think, or 344. I think also spend time as well to connect with more people around, around like in your region or in companies that you're targeting in your area. That would also help. And there's a connection request, I'll help you accept it. All right, so let's see. I think I saw a Bere say she was online. Okay, so I think I'll do a Bere and then maybe one more person. Again, please, as we go through these profiles, please, if there's something that you feel the person should do, please also mention as well. So just looking at your various profile. I love your profile picture. Looking really nice and professional. Same comment I gave to Patrick. Please let your header say something if you want. Like it's space for you to utilize. So just use it well. You can put your portfolio link or something on your banner. This is also fine as well. I'm trying to see market etc. Business analyst. I don't know if the two are related though, but it seems close enough. The throughout the years. Okay. So this is your about or summary section. I can't really read deep into it right now, but I think it should be a bit shorter. So that way, you can also, another thing you can do is you can copy all of this. If you are thinking of how do I make it short, how do I make it short, copy all of this, take it to ChatGPT and say and tell it, please, and tell ChatGPT, please summarize this for me to two paragraphs. ChatGPT will do an awesome job for you, right? Again, it's not like it's giving you something you've already written out a whole lot. So just tell you to make it concise and keep the essence of what you're trying to say. It will do a wonderful job, and then you can edit it as you want. So that way, you're not really doing so much and racking your brains on what to do. So please do that. Or if again, like for people I told to do a summary section, right? That they don't have summary sections. You can also take your resume, upload it to ChatGPT, and say, based on my resume, please write a summary for me for LinkedIn. Specify you want it to be two paragraphs, you want it in the format, maybe the format I mentioned earlier on the call, the four different things I should do, and tell it to do that for you. It will give you an awesome summary that you don't have to stress yourself about, right? So please just do that. And believe it or not, even if you say, okay, Jessica, help me revamp. I don't really do revamping. I just help people do reviews. I don't like help people start to rewrite things. And I tell them exactly the same thing I'm telling you now. If you say, okay, you want me to help you redo the whole thing, it's the same thing anybody who pay is going to do. They're going to use ChatGPT or take one template from somewhere. You're not writing it from their head. Don't think people are actually doing that. Um, so let's see here. Okay. I think you should use bullet points here instead of writing one, two, three. Just use bullet points. Um, but again, similar to what I talked about earlier, I don't think these are measurable achievements. Um, I don't think these are measurable achievements. I think you should go back, take it again, put in ChatGPT or whatever AI tool you use, and try to help you make it measurable, and then see if it kind of lines up to what you did. And again, ask yourself, okay, was there any results from, like you said, yeah, you mentioned you did due diligence on startup. Did the due diligence help the startup save X million dollars? Did it help them invest $2 million in something, right? So all those things, those figures, even if you think it might not mean something, it means a lot to help you set your profile apart, because a lot of people are doing exactly the same thing I'm seeing here, just putting I did this and that was all. That's all they do. But how do you set yourself apart? You are putting how what you accomplished on your profile. So again, this is I'm happy that we're having to review this on the call, because I it's something I was saying that I know a lot of people are doing. And it's not to say that what you wrote is rubbish. It is not. It is very great that you did all of these things, but just take it a step further and add accomplishments to it, right? Um, Again, same thing as well. These are really nice things, market research, blah, blah, blah. But what did it help accomplish? That's what I see is missing here. And I don't want, you can say I don't want to read more to see that it's missing. Because for me to be able to see that it accomplished something, there has to be like something backing it up. So remember, I'm not seeing percentages, I'm not seeing dollar figures, I'm not seeing numbers. It just screams, oh, okay, it's not there. And again, I think for most people that we review now, well, a lot of us are analysts, and I kind of envisage that as well on the call, because a lot of people in my network are data analysts, right? The numbers go a long way, because it also shows that not just are you analyzing numbers for the company you're working for, you're also using that your data analysis skills on yourself and your work, right? So again, it just makes no sense for me to see a data analyst resume or profile and I'm not seeing numbers on it. I'm not saying just start putting random figures, but let's say it's something that makes sense. That when you explain it to someone that wants to employ you, like it would make sense to them. So please, if your profile as well falls into this category, please just put something like numbers. You felt did you think back? Is it maybe just one very tiny thing that you did? Did you automate something? did you do a research and then you saved money or something? Like just try to think back and have those figures resonate on your profile. I remember then when I was doing interviewing, like any figure I put on my resume, I will highlight it and put it in bold so that people will see it there and make it stand out, right? So please, let's learn to like do that. Because again, if you put yourself in the shoes of the employer, everybody wants someone as a high flyer, right? So especially for people that are just starting out, you might not have that luxury of maybe standing on, oh, I've worked for a very big company, so it shows that I'm competent, right? I also probably didn't have that. So all those very tiny things made a great difference for me when I was interviewing. Um okay. I also didn't check here. Oh, let's see. Okay. 9 months ago. So again, I'm also looking at your post. I'm not really seeing a lot of posts, but again, it's your preference, right? But if you have like projects that you're working on and you worked on, please also try to share them on your LinkedIn, right? Overall, like great profile. Again. So let me see. Okay. Alrighty, I will send you a connection request. So let's stop sharing. No, I'm not going to stop sharing. So, hmm, yeah, so the BEM is also saying the header can also have keywords. It helps with SEO as well. So please, again, have your header should be, I don't know, I'll say your header should not just be space. It should have like that something about you as well. Okay. uh, Okay. So let's see. For anyone waiting or still on the call, we're just doing profile reviews right now, and I'll just take Q and A's afterward. So I can't review everybody's profiles to be honest, but what I would do is for people that have left notes to review, right? I will definitely, I will definitely give you individual feedback, either on LinkedIn, I have your profiles, or I will give you on like via email from you registering. Because we can't review everybody. And I put this call for 30 minutes, no, for 1 hour, 30 minutes, right? I didn't think it would take this long. But for people that have noted here, Baccarat, Tijani, Francis, I'm seeing Ifoma, Toyin, Baccarat, and Benita. I would just do I'll do a review, but we'll just take one more and then we'll do Q and A's. So let's take one more. Where's my? I don't know. I can't see. I can't find the page anymore. Hey, okay. All right, interesting. Okay, so we'll just take Baccarat's profile, and then for every other person, I'll, I'll find time to do your review. I promise. If you don't see it in like the next, if you don't see it in, let's say by the end of November or let's say next week, you can call me out, right? You can call me out. Don't worry. So I'll take time to help. So I don't know if I was, yeah, okay. So Baccarat is here. Is this in order? Okay. So Baccarat is here. Oh, Barakat is here. Sorry. I'm just seeing it now. Sorry. Barakat is here. Um, okay. Sorry for merging your name. All right, so let's see. Let's just do Barakat. All right, nice. Oh, really nice. So this is an example of a great LinkedIn profile picture and header, right? I really like it. So um, Okay, so this is actually great as well. I don't have any comments on the header. Barakat is a financial analyst, that's AC, MBA, and then she's an expert in financial reporting, budgeting, and data analysis, which is great. I don't have any comments here. So for anyone looking for templates on how to write a great header, you can use Barakat's templates, right? Um, and let's see. I think this is also great. It could be reduced a bit, but it doesn't look bad for what I'm saying. One thing I think we should also include is your years of experience, right? Because believe it or not, it's also something that we kind of like pop out or make people want to read more. Maybe they're looking for someone with more experience. So it's something I think you should also include here. 5, 6, 3 years experience, just include it as well here. Um and, okay. And this as well looks really nice. So again, we're talking earlier about measurable achievement. And I can already see that here in Barakat's summary, right? So so I assume that so I assume that Barakat's experience section already has a lot of this already. So this is great. Um I think you might want to shorten the summary, but overall, I don't really have an issue with it, right? And one thing I think might be missing, okay, you already put that here as well, using this part, Excel, SQL, Tableau, which is fine. Um, Nice. I also have like that you have a featured section to share like your work. Great. So let's go down to experience now. So yeah. So currently financial analyst at the TCE. Okay. Again, like I said, this is like when like your class teacher will mark like certain scripts and they're saying something and then you now say a script that you want to use as an example. This is one of that. Even though I can't really go into details, read line by line, I already kind of see that at least she has taken time to at least measure some of the things that she has worked on, right, on her profile. The only thing I might have is this, right? I think some of them, instead of using percentages, you can either use like dollar amounts or use time, right? But I can't really say which one right now. But instead of like having like a lot of percentages, you can also like this, for example, you can say, okay, reduce from 2 hours to 30 minutes, things like that. Like just have that. Yeah, so either dollar or naira amount if you want to use naira figures, right? Again, since some of your work also involves like finance, so that's something I think might be missing here. Not my missing that you can replace the percentages with, right? But overall it looks great. Same thing here. So this was an apprenticeship, so it's fine, even though yeah, one another thing I also want to mention, I didn't mention it before, right? When I see the duration of as someone works in a particular company and I see them put like, so let's say for example, let's me use Barakat's profile. If for example Barakat has worked here for 3 months, right, at InterSwitch, and I come to Barakat's resume and I'm seeing that she did things that ideally, if I'm looking at a project, it will take you maybe 6 months or 8 months or a year to see the gains of that project. I will already know that you're lying, right? So that's something that you should take note. So when I saw here, I saw this and I saw that, oh, she only worked there for 3 months. I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like, I don't expect you to do heaven and earth when you work in a place for 3 months. But again, someone might work somewhere for 6 months and you're seeing that you're doing things that even the CEO and owner of the company did not do. And now it is spot when people are lying. So please know that as well. You don't have to I know, like I said, you have to put your best self forward, but again, just do that like sensibly. So for me, like I don't have an issue with this, but I just think here, for example, if you like here, say collaborated with the team to develop solutions for this, you should give more context, right? This kind of seems pretty vague. So if you updated in your resume is fine, but here just give more context to what kind of business problem it was, right? If it was maybe proprietary, or like you can't give, just give, make it, don't say the company or whatever, but just make it a bit less vague. That's what I'll say here. But again, if it's just two things you push here, it's 3 months, you don't have to do heaven and earth, this is fine. um Same thing as well. Here you put your key achievements, which is okay. And again, I also want to mention, right? When I say put key achievements, I don't mean like everything should really be a key achievement. But if, for example, I'm writing Barakat's resume, I think this key achievements, I'll put it up there. Then, if, for example, I wanted to now put a task or something I just did, I doesn't have an achievement, I will then put it underneath, right? But again, you just put the achievements up there. So that's one thing. Like, not everything has to be an achievement, but if you have like three achievements and one task, just put the achievements up there, right? But again, that's also good. But that's one thing. Also, just make these achievements like all the way up first before you put like responsibilities. Um, yeah. Again, da 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 da. Yeah. Another thing I also did not mention is you don't have to mention every job that you did. So, for example, why I decided to click on Barakat's experience to see everything, I saw show all 10 experiences. And I'm seeing that here she finished in 2017, right? One thing that might be a red flag to recruiters, even though some people talk about job hopping a lot, it's a concern for recruiters. And I've had that question, even for me, like I've had maybe like 3, 5 jobs in like 8 years of working. Sometimes they still call me out and ask me, "Oh, why do you leave this job? Why did you leave this job? Why did you leave this job?" Because most of them want to know that you won't leave their company, right? So I would say for this Barakat, just if there are like jobs that like this one, for example, I'll remove it from here, right? It's a volunteer role, take it to wherever. There's a volunteering section on LinkedIn, take it there. Um, for example, my NYC, which I'm assuming this might be my okay, it is my NYC is not on my resume. The very first project training I did is not there because it's not really relevant, right? So um you can take that out. But again, if, for example, you're like, I know you have a lot of Nigerians here. If you're a Nigerian, NYC, when you're a fresh graduate, it counts as experience for you, so you can have it there. But I think over the years, as you build more experiences, you have like good job title, you don't have to put your NYC as an experience. Um, because in my case, my NYC is not there at all. So it's just a compulsory national service that everybody has to do. So again, if you are like jobs like this where maybe you've done just 5 months, or like you don't really have to put it, because most times you'll be struggling to know what to write in it, which again, I don't think it has to be there if it's not relevant. Yeah. So it's not basically by putting more and more things, just make it concise. So those ones I feel you can delete, right? The rest I think is fine. Baraka, this is actually a very good profile. Um, so, yeah. So I think it's fine. If you want to like upgrade your skill section, you can do that. I didn't check your post, but I think you can also, yeah, but I think you had like a great featured section. That's why I didn't bother checking. But by all means, like keep sharing. Like you can't tell the day someone will see your post or your profile and will be like, wow, I want this person to work for me, for example, right? So please just keep sharing what you do. We're already at 1 o'clock. I can't look at everybody's profile, so I'll just take questions now. But for everybody that has mentioned, I have I will have the live chat to go through. I will definitely take time to look at your profile and just give like high level feedback to you, or either on LinkedIn or personally. So not to worry if we didn't go through your profile on the call, right? Like I said, call me out if I don't do it. Yep. So is there anybody that has a question that we've not gone through? I'm just going back to check. Okay. Okay, yeah. So Kende said she created a niche for herself in analytics. Is it okay to use that as a title or seek a joining job title? So I think for marketing analyst, it's still a very popular job title because there are a lot of people that still check for like marketing analysts, especially for people that know how to use Google Analytics, for example, or know how to use GTM, Google Tag Manager. So if that's your job title, you can keep it, right? If I'm talking about job titles, I was talking about job titles that are very long because I've seen some. I don't know if I have an example to show. I would really prefer for someone once, and then she was looking for project manager roles, for example, but the job title she was using was quite long. Like it had something like NPI account manager, something that like I don't know what NPI means. So and what she's doing was maybe managing different projects. Someone that will see that if a recruiter was trying to look for project managers in Canada or wherever she was, they would miss out on her profile because the job titles that she had were not in any way like very relevant. I think she had worked in the company for like a good number of years. So all through the progression, she was having like different job titles that were very, very specific. So my advice was then to just consolidate all of those different promotions that she had into project manager, senior project manager, right? That's what I meant. But for sales analyst, marketing analyst, I don't think I have an issue using that. Um, let's see, where else has the question? How can one master job descriptions? Oh, yeah, this is a very good question that Aziz asked. He said, how can one master job descriptions when called for job interviews, considering. Oh, no, you don't. Why do you say master? I don't know if you have to master the job description, but if someone calls you for an interview, I believe before you go for the interview, they will tell you to schedule like a phone call. So, but before you schedule the phone call, you would already know the job you applied to. But again, if you're someone that applies a lot of jobs, you can also have a way to keep track of the job. So that way, if a company calls you, you can easily go to the job ad and check it. And I know in some cases there are times when job ads will expire, but if you just go on Google, type the company and the job name, it will come out somewhere because most of the recruiting platforms post jobs to different platforms. So I don't think you should have an issue there. But is there any question again? No. Okay. So I think we're good. Um, I want to thank everybody for joining. So if again you have questions, like I'm very bad if you send me a direct message. Like I don't know how to respond to that. But feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. I most of the time the way I interact with people mostly is if I post something, you leave a comment. There's no way I won't answer you to be honest, because I feel like you're calling me out when you do that. So you can always do that. I think what else? There's nothing else I've not looked at. Yeah. So thank you. This is the way to reach me if you need to reach me. Instagram, I have the same username. LinkedIn, my name there is Jessica Ayodele. So thank you. Let me know if the session was good for you, and hopefully we'll meet again. And for people I promise that we're going to review their profile, I will take out time the following week, this next week, right? To give you like personalized feedback for the profiles that I have. Right. Thanks everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye. Thank you too for joining. Bye. Thank you.